Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video we're going to be covering why Season 7 of DRZ is going to be changing everything. I know I'm talking quite quietly. One thing I just want to point out before we get on with the actual point of the video is that I have not scripted this at all. It is just going to be rambling, so do expect me to go off on a few tangents. I've done at least 10 takes so far as of editing. So yeah, I'm not having a fun time, unfortunately, but yeah, I can't come up with a script, so I'm just doing this off the top of my head. So if I do go off on a few tangents, I'm sorry. I'll try and edit them out, but, I'll do my best. With that being said, I also have another thing that I want to say before we start, is we're trying to reach 100 subscribers before the end of the year. We are currently on around 86, I think, and getting 100 before the end of 2025 would be a success to me, and I would love that. So if you can subscribe to the channel, please do. If you can give this video a like, please do. We're trying to get as many views and as many subscribers as we can get before the end of this year. With that being said, we'll actually go on with the start of this video then. So, I'm going to start off from the beginning of DRZ, and I'm going to go all the way up to Season 7 and why Season 7 is going to change things. So, for you to understand why it's changing things, we have to describe the whole lore of DRZ, I suppose, in this video. I'll be pretty brief about it because I can't share some details from Season 1. But to put it simply, Season 1 was made in January 2024. It was February, sorry. It was February 2024, and it was on F123. And I started putting advertisements out on Reddit and TikTok, I remember. And I only got a few people interested in the league because we had like a 20 race calendar, and not a lot of leagues do 20 race calendars. They only do around 10 to 12 at most, sometimes 14, it depends. But yeah, we did a long calendar, so it didn't really get that many people joining. Also, since I'd never done league racing or anything like that before, it was people didn't want to join a new league from a new person who had no idea how to manage a league. Mind you, at the time of recording, not at the time of recording, at the time of making the league, I was only 15 as well, and I know that's quite like a lot of people in the league racing community are under 18. I was still like developing mentally too. I don't want to like make myself out to be a victim though, so I'm not gonna like disclose everything. But basically, I was very immature at that age still, so I was still learning about the basics of pretty much everything in life. I was not mature. I wasn't ready really to be putting such a responsibility on my own shoulders, yet I did it anyway. So Season 1 was a bit of a flop. There was a lot of drama, a lot of things going wrong, and I'm not going to tell who did this, but someone ended up doxing me at the end of Season 1, where everything just completely went to crap. I had to rebrand everything from the old league name to the new league name. I had to rebrand everything, my own name, and like my own online presence had to change. I had to basically change everything for Season 2. I didn't even want to do Season 2. I was so scared to even do it because I was scared that the person that did it to me was going to come back and do more to me. So I was obviously very afraid of that happening. But I ended up doing it anyway, and it was a huge success. A lot of people started joining. There was plenty of good stories to tell. A lot of famous people in the league now, such as Romain and Sharky, at the time joining. We had Kian and Kalba, we had Spy and Adri, we had even Matty and Apple in Season 2. There was a lot of names that I'm sure the people watching the YouTube video, who are new to my channel won't know these people. But if you're on the Discord server, you recognise at least 3 or 4 of those names. So yeah, Season 2 was pretty fun. A lot better than Season 1, considering I didn't get doxed, and considering the league actually was okay and I didn't have to create a new account and a new server and a new everything. It was pretty good. And Season 3, even better. It was going on an uphill thing. It was slowly getting better and better. We had more people joining, more people signing up, which was of course a great thing. Season 3 and Season 4 were both great. But then Season 5 came, and we changed something. And in Season 5, we introduced team principles, contracts, and the money system. And this is where the downhill starts, unfortunately, for the league. Basically, in Season 5, we thought that the team principals, and that was a great idea. And we also, I think, at the same time added tier 2. I don't know if it was at the exact same time or not, though. It might have been a little bit later on. I can't remember the exact time that tier 2 was made. We did briefly try to make a tier 2 in season 3, I think it was, but that idea flopped, so we didn't end up doing that. But then it came back in season 5, but this time it was different, and we actually kept it. But anyway, the main season 5 season was pretty good. We had an all-time high in terms of attendance, but then towards the end of the season, attendance just completely flopped, and we ended up having to cancel the season early as a result, which wasn't great. And the first huge low of DRZ was that moment, really, when I realised, oh crap, we don't even have enough people to do the last races. We can't even finish the season, so we had to call it quits early. And we didn't really give it much time before season 6 started, because at the end of season 5 and the beginning of season 6, F125 had came out, and I'd bought it immediately, and a lot of people had bought it straight off the bat. So we jumped over straight onto F125. The launch of the season 6 wasn't great. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. So, yeah, the mid-season of season 6 was probably the best. We had an all-time high attendance. We had a full grid for once. I think we had it for 2 races in a row. We had Britain and Belgium, where they had full grids for the first time ever in DRZ, which was great. But the end of the season, again, we had a flop in attendance. We only had 6 people attend the season finale. But the championship battle that season was great. I recommend you actually go watch the highlights from that season all throughout. I know I missed a race or two, I think, for season 6. I'm not sure if I actually did, but I might have missed a race highlight or two. But besides that, the season itself was pretty fun. So I recommend you go and watch it when you get the chance, of course, after this video ends. So yeah, after that, we had 2 tiers. The tier 2 was okay. There was a few dirty drivers, but of course we didn't know how to handle that, really, other than just getting rid of them. So we did just get rid of them, I think, over time. And yeah, tier 2 started to grow. It got better, but then as a result, because I was paying more attention to tier 2, tier 1 started to drop. So it was kind of managing both. It was kind of like juggling tiers, but I couldn't really do it properly. And then I decided for some reason, for Season 7, I wanted to add 3 tiers, even though Tier 1 and Tier 2 weren't doing so great in terms of attendance. I tried to add 3 different tiers, and it didn't work. It completely flopped when we launched the initial Season 7. It didn't have enough people for all 3 tiers, and that meant that the season ended. We went and cancelled everything. We got rid of team principals, contracts, money, all of it. And yeah, we had to reset, basically. My mental health, by the way, at around Season 6 starting... No, I'd say Season 5. In Season 5, because that was around February 2025. In February 2025, around the time of Season 5, my mental health took a huge dip. And I'm not going to tell you why. Unfortunately, this is more private. But I had a huge dip in my mental health, which meant that I was losing a lot of passion and love that I had had for DRZ in the previous seasons, which made the new seasons feel less special to me, and that as a result affected the league, because I made it out to be that the league was dying, and that unfortunately fed into people telling me the league was dying, and that only made the situation worse, because people were telling me the league was dying, and I was like, yeah, okay, I don't care at this point, and I was willing to delete the server a few times and just give up on all of it. I didn't in the end, thankfully, but there was one time that really was worrying, because I was having a huge argument with pretty much everyone in the server over something. I can't even remember what it was now, but I ended up spinning a wheel, and the wheel said, if it lands on yes, delete the server, if it lands on no, keep the server, and fate chose for me in that moment. It said no, and I listened to it, but that was close. That was a really close call, because I could have given up everything there if it landed on yes, and it was close to landing on yes as well, mind you. It was not... It was so lucky of me that I didn't end up deleting the server, but if it landed on a yes, I definitely would have deleted the server that night, because I was just so overwhelmed with my mental health and everything that I didn't want to do the RZ anymore. And it had nothing to do with the league itself. It was outside things getting to me at the time, which was affecting the league, of course. But yeah, anyway, enough about that. Around that time, I had a dip, and it was slowly going downhill for me in terms of my mental health. I attempted a lot of things that I shouldn't have done during the time. But towards the end of the year, around now, October, I think we're in, as of this recording, I'm doing a lot better, which is why Season 7 is going to be a lot better, because my mental health is better, which means I'm going to be putting in more effort, more passion, all of that stuff. It's going to be going into the league again, which is going to be great. Yeah, I guess now that I'm better again, things are improving. But another thing that's making the league a lot better is the removal of the team principals, the contracts, and the money, because basically they weren't doing so great. The money system was kind of hard to keep hold of for me. I couldn't manage it, and I had someone else who was meant to help me with the money system, but then I kept stepping in and doing it anyway, which I shouldn't have been doing. I could have just left it to them to do, but I didn't. I kept stepping in anyway and doing it for them, which only burnt me out further. So, yeah, it was kind of my fault for that. But then the contracts just got too much for me to handle as well. Then the team principals, people just arguing over small stuff constantly, and I couldn't handle it, so I got rid of it all. And I added something new to replace the team principals and stuff, so that it wouldn't just be scrapping it all and not giving it anything. I added wildcards, which, if you don't know what wildcards are, they're basically a scenario that you can add on to a race weekend to change things up. Like, for example, there is the Rainbow Tyre Challenge, where you have to use every tyre compound in a race. The soft, the medium, the hard, the intermediate, and the full wet. And if you don't do it, you get disqualified, basically. It's a fun little thing, and it makes you think more about your strategy. It makes you race harder against other people, and it's really nice. And I let people vote for the wild cards before the race as well, so that was good. As of this recording, tomorrow is China, the start of Season 7, so I'm trying to get this out today, and then tomorrow's race will be the first race with wildcards. The first wildcard ever to be in DRZ is going to be the randomised grid order wildcard, which is self-explanatory, but I will explain anyway. Qualifying will be disabled, and the grid order will be shuffled before the race starts. So, yeah. That's pretty much all I've got to it, really. Yeah, but anyway, you've heard all of the history, I guess, that I wanted to explain of DRZ. Season 7 is going to be changing everything. My mental health is a lot better now, which means that I'm going to be putting a lot more effort in. The videos are going to be good. I almost just said gooder. You can tell how tired I am by my voice and the lack of care in my voice. I can't be bothered. I don't care if this video does well or not. I'm just doing it for the sake of doing it, because we need content on the channel, so I'm making this video. Yeah, it's a bit of a ramble video, not gonna lie, but yeah. I just wanted to talk about it, I guess. DRZ Season 7 is going to be good. The attendance has been good. We've got a full grid for the first race of the season, and hopefully that trend can continue. We've got a lot of reserves backed up as well now, as well as a full grid for the full-time drivers, which is definitely good. I think I forgot to mention, but I got rid of the 3 tiers as well. We're just back to 1 tier, and we race at Fridays, 7 p.m. UK time. I forgot to mention it, I think. But yeah, that is our time that we race at, and that is the tier that we race, and we only have 1 tier now. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching, and I guess I'll see you in the next one, which will be probably the race highlights of Season 7 China. Or I do have another video that I'm cooking up, or should be cooking up. I haven't started yet. But another video is going to be HLH Italy highlights. Well, not highlights, sorry. But it's going to be like, I raced in that league. So you'll be seeing me racing in that league. And you'll see what I did in the league. I'm not going to spoil details right now. Yeah, anyway, I'm rambling. So, yeah, have a good day, evening, night, whatever time of day you're watching this on. Yeah. Thank you for watching.